Hey guys, so today I'm going to be making this bait that I drew. It's nothing special, just there's the big old lip. I'm going to make a predator lip on it. I get a lot of inspiration from a guy on YouTube named Marling Baits. I think he's really cool. So just like him, I'll be using a box cutter to carve my bait and a lot of super glue. I just got some new stuff. Got some new fish eyes here, some brushes, and some split rings. I just use this amazing clear coat stuff. Nothing special. It's just resin. Or then, just like Marling Baits, I'll be using this safety lock wire. So I don't have a bandsaw, so I just use this here jigsaw. It gets the job done. It cuts pretty well vertical. It doesn't do an amazing job like a bandsaw, but I don't really have the money to afford a bandsaw. And for my lips, I just use Polylexin, I think is what it is. I don't really know what it is, but it like gets cracks in it if you cut too hard, so you gotta be careful with it, but it makes good lips. So normally I'd be fishing, but the reason I'm not fishing right now is because hard water season's about over, so I'm just gonna be making some baits, and I got all this new stuff that I want to use. So I'm gonna be using this piece of pine here because I don't have basswood and I don't feel like paying for it, so just gonna cut out my new bait stencil here. Alright, so I grabbed a pair of scissors and cut this out with scissors. I don't know why I was using a knife. I really like this style of crankbait. It's pretty simple. It's going to be really easy for me to kind of learn how to make baits on. I have a couple experiences with making baits, but it's just kind of something that I'm not really great at. I didn't really do a great job. I only made like 2 other ones. I have one that I'm working on right now, but I just it's a work in progress because I'm waiting for the type of super glue I want to use to come in. Right now I have the gel. I want the super thin stuff that Marling Baits uses, because that way you can use the baking soda with it, and it will it'll harden the baking soda. The gel stuff takes hours to harden when you put it in baking soda, so I need the super thin stuff for that, and then I can weight it better. I'll show you in a second the one I'm working on, but I just use birdshot to weight down the baits because I don't have a lead pot, and I have some pretty fine birdshot, so it does a good job. Alright, so the way that I made these was I printed out some graph paper. I drew it based on a crankbait that I own, and then I just I scanned it on my printer and flipped it. So I'll glue this side down, I'll cut this out, and then I will glue this on the other side so I can find the eyes, and then cut the lip slot. I just use a glue stick. I mean, it doesn't matter that the wood's kind of crappy. It's really soft wood, so it's easy to carve and it'll float. This bait I want to sink at least a little bit, and then I'm gonna put like a predator style lip on it to kind of make it wobble more in the water. It doesn't really matter how you put it on here. Now I'm gonna cut it out. So I just got finished cutting it, and now I'm gonna sand it to the proper bait shape. For a little comparison, here's a bait I'm working on right now that I haven't finished. This is one I need to put weight in, and I want the other super glue for weighting it. It's a lipless crank that I'm going to put a lip on because I think that's a cool idea. And then this is the one I'm working on right now. I'm going to make the spot for the eyes. Take a nail right in the middle. It's really soft wood, so you just press in. There's your eye. Then on the other side, like I said, I just flipped it on a Word doc, so it's the exact same on the other side. Press in, boom, you got your eye. Now I'm going to cut a lip slot. So I'll just take a drill bit to that then. Now I'm going to try and just get this little bit of material out here. My lip material fits. Perfect. Awesome. So now that I finished cutting the lip slot out of the bait and I poked the eyes, I can take the paper off. You don't really need to worry about. I might just sand it off. So now I have it completely cleaned off, and I'm just going to draw the chamfer lines on it. Now I'm going to sand to those lines on the back. Alright, so now I got the basic shape. I left the belly really fat on it because that's what I want. And then, so I'm going to drill out the eyes, and then I'm going to shape the bait. Got some sandpaper, 150 grit. You saw the wet. I like sanding it in the palm of my hand because I think it kind of curves, makes the bait curve better. But there's the final look before I will get it painted. I'm gonna have my girlfriend do that for me because I'm not a very good artist. And then I'm gonna drill the line ties. So I'm gonna drill out the places for the line ties. This one's going to be drilled out bigger for the weight. Yeah, and this one I'm going to draw bigger. So now that I drilled those two out, I'm going to get it with the rest with a hammer and just a tiny little screwdriver instead of using a chisel. Alright, I got my line ties in, glued in. I got my lead. It's got super glue on it. And then I'll super glue and baking soda when I get my new super glue. Alright guys, so I ended up doing a lot off camera because I don't really have a setup. But anyways, I made a lip for it. It's not very centered, but it's whatever. And then my girlfriend painted it for me. She painted it this color. It was like a fire tiger, but with some dots on the top, and I really like that. And my coach Gano told me that he used to have a bait they called Pickle. It looked a lot like this. So I decided to name this bait Pickle. Now I'm gonna pick some yellow, not these ones, but I'm gonna go for like a perch-shaped eye, and I'm going to glue it on now. All right, it's kind of hard to see, but I really like that eye, so I'm gonna put one of these on it. This is the size that I drilled the eye out to be, so it's gonna be one of these guys. I'm gonna point the point of the pupil forward, just kind of like it is right now. I think that'll look sweet. So I will show you the final product done. All right, I very much underestimated how much of a pain it was to put this eye on, but that's the final product. So it goes from looking like this to looking like that. So I like that eye on there. I think it looks a little off, but I think it looks good. All right, I got the second eye on there. I took a little bit of paint off with some glue, and I accidentally took a little bit of my skin off, but it worked. So after that, when I got that done, I'll be using some of this here resin. Oh, I'm not even looking at it, my bad. Some of this here resin, and I'll be clear coating it. But I gotta wait for the glue to dry, and then I'll hang it up, and I will let it dry overnight. Should be good by tomorrow, so I will show you me mixing this up, and then painting it on. So I mixed together the two parts with this brush here of the resin that I used to clear coat, and it's just like super bubbly because I mixed together and it's getting warm and it smells terrible, which means it's working. So now I'm gonna paint this with it, and then I'm gonna hang it upside down right here in my vise with a nail. All right, well, I actually mixed up way too much resin, and then I threw my bait on the ground because I'm freaking stupid, but as you can see, it looks pretty freaking good with the clear coat on. So now I'm just gonna hang it, and then it'll drip and it'll even out overnight, so that's good. And then I'll show you what it looks like in the morning. All right, guys, so I just got home from school, and here's the bait. Oh, I'm feeling it, and it's still not quite dry yet, but you can see the clear coat on it. There's gonna be a little leftover on the tail there. And yeah, it's looking freaking awesome. It's named the Pickle. That worked out. Looks like the ink ran a little, but it's okay. So it's still a little bit tacky, got to dry yet, and I'll give it another day or so, and then it should be good to throw hooks on, and then I'll get a test in the creek. Not like actually trying to catch anything, but I was going to see how it looks in the water. So this is my first video on this channel, fishing on a budget, with my buddies Ethan and Heath. They're both going to be on here too. So I started a Instagram called Matt K Fishing, and that's basically going to be my Instagram page for this channel, which is a group of us three together. And then I'm part of the Knockout Bassin Instagram as well. He's kind of like a different company, but I'm basically pro staff for him and help in videos with him and just kind of rep their brand and everything like that. So, and then along with that, I'm going to be getting a GoPro soon, and I'll be able to record some fishing footage, and I'll also be able to do the like bait making a little bit easier, so it's not going to be kind of as bad of quality of video because I won't be using my phone. I'll be using a GoPro. So that's what I'm hoping to do, and I'm hoping that everything is going to start, coming together, and the channel is going to start moving. So yep, I'll get back to you when this lure is finished. All right, guys, so this being my first video, I'm kind of experimenting with some different ways of filming. So originally I was doing with an iPhone, which was kind of hard to do, and now I'm going to be trying to use a GoPro. So as you can see here with the GoPro, the sound's going to be a little different, but it's going to be like an on my head kind of view here, so it'll be a little easier for me to work on things. So here's the Pickle.
right? And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, there's the name of it, I'm going to put split rings on, and then I'm going to put hooks on. And I'm kind of low on hooks and low on money right now, so I'm going to be borrowing hooks that I use in a different bait. Alright guys, so here's my Senko box, and here's a previous bait I had made earlier in attempts to make a bait. See, there's a tiny little lip right there. It floats pretty hard. Right here is the lead. I didn't really put very much lead in it, so it floats, and it's really big. As you can see, there's my hand compared to it. But these are all they're brand new hooks that have been used to swim this thing through the water one time, and so these are what I'm going to throw on. But I used spray paint, and instead of, I didn't have eyes, so I just used some glue for eyes. And then these split rings were all borrowed from different baits. And then these eyelets I used on here weren't made with this wire. They were actually made with these silver jewelry eyelets, so they're kind of not very high quality. They kind of break really easily. So I'm going to be borrowing, well, I'll probably just take the split rings off this. No need to have them on there. So I'm going to pull all these split rings and put them on the other bait. So I got these split ring pliers with my new case of split rings I bought, and they make working on these baits so much easier. Like pulling split rings off and everything, so much easier. So just like that, pops it open, and then you can just spin it. Oops. Right there, just like that. Now we got our first hook on there. Then we go for one more hook, and then put an eyelet on, or a split ring on the eyelet there to the line tie there to connect up to the rod. But you can see that's what it looks like right there. So now you can see I put those hooks on there. That's how it'll look in the water. And then I'm going to put the split ring on the eye there, or the line tie there. And all the resin has hardened, so those hooks are sharp. It's now completely waterproof, and hopefully it sinks. I don't really know how to test that, other than throw it in the water, which I'm going to be doing soon, and that'll be the final part of this video. Alright, there is the start to finish of the pickle. I'm going to tie it up now. But because I don't have mono, I'm just going to tie it right up to the braid here. I just do a fisherman's knot. Very common knot, super easy to tie. Take it through this loop now, just like this. And then go back through here. You wet it a little bit. Boom, just like that. Fisherman's knot. It's not going anywhere. You can tighten this end then too. Clip off your excess line. Now, we tied up. I will see you guys at the creek. Alright guys, so we're going to get some action with the pickle. I just finished fishing this stream, and I caught 5, unfortunately. So it does have a slow sink, that's awesome. Unfortunately, the camera ran out of battery, so I ended up not getting all the footage I wanted to get. I only ended up getting 1 fish on camera, but here's the pickle, and I'll show you it running in the water. So right there it is, it slowly sinks. You can see it's got a shake to it. Well, I just threw it into the bank, but. So there's the pickle in the water. It's got a shake to it. Perfect. It's a low and slow bait, that's for sure. It's heavy. and it's got a sink to it. So maybe a little too much lead. Might be able to change the hooks out, but right there it is. Looks good in the water. Looks great in the water, actually. Sweet. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed watching me make this bait. And I can't wait to make more videos, especially me fishing for bass, hopefully. You know, when the spring starts and the bass start moving around more. But until then, some trout fishing, some pictures. Follow me on Instagram. Check out the pictures on Instagram and Fish Brain. See you guys.